Hey guys, so as promised, here's my 100,000 subscriber Q&A video. I made a post on my YouTube community section and I got about 300 comments. So I will not be answering all of the questions, but I will do my best to answer the important and relevant ones. Now, in case you're wondering what this thing is, this is actually a new microphone I got. It's an Instamic Pro, and I'm hoping to use this actually in my future videos as the bike audio. And I'm testing it out right now as my little wireless lav mic, so see how it goes. But first, before we get into the questions, I have to announce that I am doing a giveaway. I have 3 different items to give away to you guys. The first thing I'm going to be giving away is this pair of gloves from Handup Gloves and this matching jersey, which I think is super sick. Now, this giveaway is going to be held on Instagram, so you're going to have to follow me on Instagram at Boostmaster, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a post about each of the 3 items, and then you're going to have to, like, say, comment on it and maybe tag a friend or something. I'll put the rules in the post so you'll see what the rules are, but when you make a comment and maybe tag a friend or something like that, then you are eligible, and then you'll get put into a spreadsheet, and then I'll randomly pick a number kind of thing. But this is the first thing I'm giving away is the jersey with a pair of gloves. So that is from Handup Gloves. Huge thanks to Handup Gloves for supporting me in this and giving away something to you guys. The second item is from Worldwide Cyclery. Now, I don't have it with me here, but they're gonna give away a tire. They said they have a Maxxis Minion DHR 27.5 tire to give away. So that is the next prize. Again, there'll be another post on Instagram about that specifically. And then the other prize I have, it's from Needs Factory, okay? It's pretty sweet. They have a whole jersey. It's super epic. You'll even be able to get your custom name written on the back as well, which is super awesome. All right, sweet. Sweet. So this is what they're gonna be giving away to you guys. I'm really stoked. Needs Factory is also a sponsor of mine in addition to Handup Gloves. So that'll be another post on my Instagram, so watch for that. And again, the rules about how to enter will be in the actual Instagram post, so be sure to check that out. Okay, so now let's get to the questions. So I told you guys to upvote the questions you really want answered. So the number 1 most voted for question was by LazyHead123. So they ask, if you could design your own dream bike, what would it be like? Wheel size, travel, components, geometry, and color? Okay, so yeah, for a dream bike, I've been kind of thinking about that a lot. It would be quite similar to some of the bikes that I've owned recently, like my Wilson or my Norco Truax in a way, a bit of a mixture between both. I'm thinking I'll do 7 inches of travel, so about 180 millimeters, let's say. I like to have some kind of fatter tires, so let's say a bit of clearance, at least for maybe 2.6 inch wide tires. I'll probably go for 26 inch wheels as well. Let's say geometry, I'll probably go similar to what my Wilson is, which is about 1200 millimeters. For 7 inch travel, it'll kind of be like a freeride bike. So maybe I'll go like 1200 mils at the most, maybe even slightly less, something like that. Let's say 65-degree head angle. In terms of components, I don't know, it's a bit hard to say. Whatever's good. I don't know. Whatever works awesome. Whatever's the best. That's honestly, I don't even have too much preference for like brands necessarily. All right, next question by MTB Enduro Girl. What made you start YouTube? And what would be your tips and advice to anyone else wanting to start YouTube? Okay, so what started me doing YouTube, like this was back in 2006 when I made my first channel, Bikerman13. I made it so that I can kind of express my ideas, express what I envision mountain biking to be in a way. It's like, I have these cool ideas I wanna portray mountain biking as, so then I'll like, you know, film it, edit it to music, and I have all these cool ideas I want to show and express. That's kind of the idea, is like expressing the way that I look at mountain biking is kind of what it is. That's sort of the attitude I have behind when I make my like third person kind of edits, shall we say. It's just about, you know, how can I show mountain biking in the coolest way possible? And what would be tips and advice to anyone else wanting to start YouTube? Know like what makes you different from other people. Know what sets you apart from other channels and kind of emphasize that maybe. Like purposely stand out, you know? Show off what is unique and different about you so that you can stand out. All right, Daily Mountain Bike Rider asks, how many pair of jorts do you own? So jorts, he's referring to jean shorts. Actually right now I only own 1 pair of jorts, and I actually haven't worn them in a while, so I think I have to wear them soon. You know, I think I have to bring out the jorts pretty soon. All right, Nicholas Hames asks, is YouTube your main living? If so, how do you manage your riding, recording, training, and video editing time? Do you pay attention to eventual fatigue, injuries? All right, so YouTube is not my main living, but I'm getting closer to it. So yeah, I'm really trying to like make a full-time living, hopefully by spring. So I'm trying to see if I can get some more support as well. So there's big things like Patreon, or, you know, buying some merch like shirts, which I need to make some more shirts as well. And things like that I'm trying to kind of promote so that hopefully I can make a living a little bit sooner. So relying on YouTube ad revenue is never really that fun, and it's a bit difficult to make enough. But otherwise, I treat this like a full-time job though. Even though it's not quite, I still work really hard on it. And even back when I was not making too much money off of it, I would still spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, I've been treating it like a full-time job for quite a while. Bailey Tundenham asks, what's your favorite memory on a mountain bike? That's actually a really hard question because, I mean, there's just so many great memories. Maybe the first time I ever went to Whistler, that is a memorable experience. That was pretty cool. That was back in like 2005, I think it was. I made a whole video about it on my channel actually. That stood out. It's just hard to say what the favorite memory is though. Antonio LZ asks, how much it took you to be confident on big jumps? Yeah, a while, I guess. Years, I don't know. I remember the first time I hit the 35 footer at my local spot was probably about 3 years after I started mountain biking, and it was on a full suspension bike. I don't know, I've always been into hitting jumps though. Like even before I got a mountain bike, I had like a BMX, and I would always love to like hit jumps, like little wooden jumps, nothing big at the time, but I was always into hitting jumps. So jumps actually didn't take me that long to get confident on them compared to maybe some other people. All right, Canadian Moose asks, why did you choose freeride as your principal practice of mountain biking? And will you be exploring anything like enduro, dirt jumping, downhill, dare I say cross country? Won't judge you if you choose the last one. Okay, so freeride, I mean, freeride and downhill is basically what I do, but I also really love dirt jumping. Basically freeride, downhill, dirt jumping, that's kind of like the main stuff that I've always been doing. Haven't been dirt jumping in a while because I don't have a dirt jump bike. Yes, I will be exploring enduro soon when I actually get an enduro bike. Totally, yeah, those bikes are good. There was never like a decision to like definitively choose like freeride or something as opposed to something else. I was just doing what I wanted to do the most. I mean, at my local mountain, we just had lots of fun jumps, and I love hitting jumps. So it's kind of like, let's hit the jumps. And yeah, I just like being free on my bike and just kind of, I love flying in the air. I don't know. Van Can asks, if you were a bike tire, what kind of bike tire would you be? I think I might be a Schwalbe Dirty Dan or something like that. I think I might be a Dirty Dan, just because of how gnarly those tires are. They're so cool. I actually own one. It's like a mud tire, and I only ride it like in the winter time during the mud, but like they're so cool looking. I just love how aggressive they are. So Patrick Sullivan asks, what's the biggest jump you've ever hit? I think the biggest one is just the crabapple hits jumps. I don't quite know exactly how big it is, but yeah, that fourth one is the biggest. That's probably the biggest jump I've ever hit. I'm not 100% sure. The Ultimate Foxy asks, what's your intro song? So many people ask that. It's called Pride Before the Fall. It's just in the YouTube audio library. Pride Before the Fall. Okay, Tom_27 asks a good question. He says, why is your nickname Boostmaster? Okay, so this was about 7, 8 years ago. Okay, so I was at university, and I was doing this mountain bike operations program. It's a unique program, part of Capilano University on the Sunshine Coast. And so it's a small program. There's like 26 guys in it. For the second semester, I would like live with some of the guys, and then we'd give each other nicknames. And one of my nicknames, I had a few, but one of my nicknames was Boostmaster. One of the guys especially just started calling me that, and it just kind of caught on. But the reason why he called me Boostmaster is because I would hit the longest jumps, basically. That's all that it is. Because at that point, you know, I had hit, you know, a 35-foot gap. That was like the longest jump. And basically that was it, really. It was just from roommates kind of calling me Boostmaster because I would hit long jumps. And so I was actually pretty stoked with that nickname. I thought, you know what, that's gonna stick. I'm gonna keep that. And I'm gonna make some money off of that name in the future. So yeah, that was a good nickname. All right, Dalton Mears asks, what was your first bike? Okay, so my first bike, this was in 2003 or 2004. It was a Norco Wolverine. And so it's like an adventure cross bike kind of thing, because that's like all I could afford. It was like a $600 bike, you know, 4 inches of suspension, mechanical disc brakes. And the lame thing though is that the frame was like way too big for me. And I didn't know that at the time because I didn't know anything about bikes, but in hindsight, it's kind of like really weird that I bought such a huge bike. The frame was a 22-inch frame. Like, why did I get that, right? I don't know. The guy selling it to me thought like maybe it'll be okay because, I don't know, that was annoying, but the bike was way too big for me, but otherwise, that was my first bike. Eric Johnson asks, I see that you wear a wrist brace a lot. I recently broke my hand/wrist and was wondering what all you did to get back on the bike. Does the brace impede your riding at all? Okay, so yeah, I definitely went through a lot of physiotherapy, working my wrist. Man, that sucked, but yeah, I was working my wrist a lot, getting the strength back, the movement back, and basically the wrist brace, it does not really impede my riding at all, thankfully. I just made sure I bought one that worked good enough, I guess. A lot of people keep asking me what kind of wrist brace I have or something like that, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I actually don't even know. It's just some generic brace from my local clinic, you know? That's it. I don't know. It's just got like a metal bar along the wrist kind of thing. It's just kind of, it tightens up my whole wrist, so it works. It totally works. It just really tightens up my wrist, and yet I can keep most of the movement, enough movement, and I can grip the bars just fine. Rocket League asks, what are some tips and tricks to be a better rider? All right, know your attack position, know what that is. So that means, like, it's when you're descending, like your attack position basically is your knees are a bit bent, your elbows are a bit bent, and then your shoulders are about above your handlebars, and then your hips are above your seat. So you're pretty much centered in the bike, basically. And you're just kind of like, elbows and knees are bent, so you're just kind of ready for anything. You know, you're not stiff, you're not like standing too high or low. It's just kind of a good neutral attack position. That's a good place to be when you're descending for whatever obstacles come your way. You can maneuver through it all. That's just one little stance to have as you're descending. Ed asks, what's the best place you've ever ridden and best bike you've ever ridden? Hard to say the best place, maybe Whistler. I really like New Zealand a lot. I want to go back there again sometime. Yeah, Whistler area, North Shore stuff. Yeah, definitely around BC is probably my favorite otherwise. Best bike, I don't know. I might just say like my own bike, my Da Vinci Wilson, probably. For descending at least, yeah. I like that a lot. I also really liked my Norco Empire when I had that bike. That was really fun. That was kind of like a slopestyle bike almost. A bit bigger of a slopestyle bike, but it was like a real like dirt jumpy style 5 and 6 inch travel bike. Maldi asks, how many injuries do you have in your life caused by mountain biking? Okay, so the biggest one recently, I broke my wrist. Before that, in like 2010, a significant injury was that I tore a tendon in my thumb from my other hand. So I lost some movement in my thumb. And yeah, I was wearing a wrist brace for like a couple of years on my right hand at that point, so you may see that in my videos. Otherwise, I never broken any other bones. I never had any other significant injury. I just done a lot of bruising muscles, twisting things, like hurting my wrist, my ankle, I don't know, my shoulder, my elbow. Just, I've done a lot of things just hurting myself where it put me out for a couple weeks, but that was it, just muscle damage. That's what the bulk of it was. Even when I broke my bike, my most popular video on my channel where I broke my bike and I just smashed into a tree, I bit my tongue really hard and my tongue was bleeding a bit, but like, I don't know, I wasn't really injured. I was just really, really sore. You know, my jaw was kind of hurting. My elbow hurt for a while. Yeah. Ikmag Baum asks, if you had to completely give up mountain biking, maybe because of a strong injury or you moved to a place without mountains, what sport would you do then? I'm sure I would try like BMX. I think that would be cool. I also think skateboarding looks kind of cool. I might try skateboarding too. That would be cool. Something like BMX or skateboarding. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I like some other competitive sports like badminton, hockey. Yeah, something like those are fun. Another question from LazyHead123. Would you ever try a race, the Air DH perhaps? Yes, actually one of my plans for next year is to do more racing. I haven't raced in like 5 years, and even then I would race like 1 or 2 simple races a year. And it wasn't serious, it was just for fun. But next year though, I'm actually gonna like get a license and like actually do some races with my friend Wesley and maybe Alex. Once in a while, yeah, we'll try a race. And I do plan on doing the Air DH next year as well. Dylan Vander Linden asks, have you had any sponsors? If so, what were they and how did they help you progress? So as I mentioned earlier on, basically I have a sponsor from Handup Gloves and Needs Factory. So they give me products like clothing, the jerseys or the gloves. So that's super sick. It's an awesome little deal where I can just get free product and I can just say good things about them because they're great companies. And so that's awesome. Daffy James asks a good question also. Did you start mountain biking on small trail systems or did you start at Whistler Bike Park? Okay, so I did not start at Whistler Bike Park. I started on small biking systems, just my local trails, which are simple, mellow trails. They're called Ledgeview. It's in Abbotsford, and they're pretty mellow actually, but there's a lot of jumps. And so it's kind of similar to the terrain that you find at Galbraith Mountain, but not nearly as big or sophisticated as what Galbraith offers. Ledgeview is just a much smaller scale, and there's just like lots of local stuff all nearby. Whistler's about 2.5 hours away from me, so I couldn't really start at Whistler or anything like that. But yeah, I know a lot of people seem to think that I just ride Whistler a ton, and that's not even close to true at all. Like, there's so much more other than Whistler that I ride. Sam Costin asks, would you ever consider BMX? Yes, I plan on buying BMX in the near future actually. I think it's time I get one of those, yeah. All right, Philip Wachter asks, how many bikes do you own? And then what other sports did you try while you were younger? So right now I only have one bike, unfortunately. I just have a DaVinci Wilson. I really want to get some more bikes, a hardtail, a BMX, an enduro bike for sure. So in the near future I will get some more bikes. I used to be really into golfing actually. Before I was into mountain biking, I used to be into golf, hockey, everything really. Like in elementary school, we just play all the sports. I love badminton a lot, that kind of stuff. All right, Willanato01 asks, what is your favorite part about having a mountain bike YouTube channel? I think being able to like express the kind of ideas that I have and have a big audience that wants to watch them. That's really satisfying, actually. It's also really cool to be able to meet people all over the place that recognize me and watch my videos now that I'm like more and more popular. That's really cool too. But yeah, I just love being able to just make videos that I want to make, just come up with my own ideas, share them with people and see people enjoying them as well and thinking that like, oh, these are the best videos kind of thing. Like, that's really cool to see and it's satisfying to watch. William Spiking asks, what's the worst injury you've ever had? That would be my broken wrist from 2 years ago now from Kamloops, but my wrist is better now, so. Big Yellow Bananas 09 asks, also a good question, what is your end goal with mountain biking? So I guess I really like to, use it as my workout, use it as my exercise. It's like my only kind of form of real exercise, so it keeps me healthy, keeps me fit for sure. It's tons of fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's like the funnest sport. Yeah, as far as the physical activity of it, yeah, just the goal is just have fun and stay fit kind of thing, right? Otherwise, also like when it comes to like the end goal, when it comes to this channel, you didn't necessarily ask this, but I'll just say, this is all teaching me more and more about just how to sort of make a living doing what you love, I'm learning a whole lot, business-wise, how to conduct a YouTube channel, all these kind of things I'm going to be sticking with me in the future as I move towards some other things as well. Fernando Gonzalez asks, what is your favorite trail in Whistler Bike Park? Probably Dirt Merchant. I really like Dirt Merchant. Bravo the Owl asks, how did you get into mountain biking? Basically, when I was in grade 7, I got into mountain biking because of a friend, a new guy who came to school. He was into mountain biking, and combined with the fact that I was already interested in hitting jumps and like riding BMX, I thought like, that looks really cool, you know, try mountain biking, and look, there's jumps, and hey, that's sweet. So I thought like, sweet, let's try mountain biking. So then I ended up buying a mountain bike soon after, I guess, and then I was just stoked. Valian Sammy asks, would you do hardtail downhill? Yeah, of course. Hardtails are awesome. I can't wait to get another hardtail. Hardtails are what I started out on for like the first 3 years. I just was on hardtail because that's all I could afford. And that was a really good thing for developing skills. Just VTT asks, what's your favorite trick? I think the tail whip is probably my favorite trick. It's super cool looking. XX_nipple_twister_XX asks, if you would have 1 million more subscribers, what would change? I think that's a good question. And if I had 1 million more subscribers, that's 10 times more than I have now. I'm assuming I'd be having a lot more views as well, meaning more money also. With more money, I would be able to do more, basically. I would just like really up my production value, and I would just take things probably more seriously. Something like that. Jude Glover asks, how old are you? I'm 29. All right, Nolan Neal asks, how long do you intend to make videos for, and what will you want to do after you stop making them? Okay, so when it comes to just making videos in general, like aside from mountain biking, I'll probably do it for the rest of my life because I really enjoy filming, editing. It's just a great way of expressing myself. I'm a very creative mind, and I very much like the idea of film and visuals and audio and all that kind of stuff. But if you're talking about mountain biking specifically, that's a good question, and I'm not too sure how long I will make them for. We'll see. I'm thinking for the kind of stuff I would make beyond mountain biking, I would probably want to do more serious, like big productions, like bigger, perhaps documentaries or feature films. I've been thinking a lot about that as well. I'd like to make more like Christian-based stuff or like Bible-based productions, actually. I think that would be pretty interesting. Some along the lines of some sort of Christian ministry type thing is probably what I would like to get more into. Nicholas Saunders asks, do I need to go to Whistler to experience the best mountain biking? No, you don't. I think there's a ton of great mountain biking all over the place. I don't know where you're from, but yeah, no, you don't have to go to Whistler to experience the best stuff. There's great stuff at Whistler, but no, there's so much cool stuff all over the place, all over the world, you know. Ryder Thibaudou asks, opinion on 29ers, favorite bike brand, carbon or aluminum? I don't like 29ers. I probably will never get a 29er, aside from a road bike, because they're all 29ers, but for mountain bike, probably never get a 29er. I don't really have any favorite bike brand, really. I don't really care too much. Carbon or aluminum, generally I'm pretty much fine with aluminum. I don't really care a ton for carbon, but I don't know. I can see why maybe sometimes carbon might be more necessary, being kind of a stronger material after all. William Sanford asks, what's it like to ride Whistler nearly every day when it's one of the best places to ride for mountain bikes? I don't ride Whistler nearly every day at all, actually. I know that it kind of seems like that. The truth is I bought a 10-day pass for Whistler Bike Park for this year, and I don't even know if I used all 10 days. I think I've used 10 days actually. Yeah, I think I did use them all up. But that's it, like throughout the entire season, you know, May to October, I rode about 10 days at Whistler Bike Park. All right, Mush asks, in your recent episode with the 29er session, you said that 26 and 27.5 are both solid options for freeride and bike park, etc. If you were to get a new bike, which wheel size would you choose? Well, considering that there is no option for 26 inch, it's kind of hard to choose that, huh? So pretty much I'd have to choose a 27.5. And, you know, I had a really positive experience with the Rocky Mountain Maiden, and that one has another axle path where you can put in a 26-inch wheel, and the geometry would stay exactly the same. So I really like that kind of stuff. So that piques my interest. And then if you wanted to put a 26-inch wheel on the front of that bike, you'd You might want to even put a longer fork on it just to kind of offset the fact that you're lowering the front end. So you might even want to put like a 29er fork with a 26-inch wheel, and that might be about the same as a 27.5 fork with 27.5 wheel. Or another option is to actually have like a longer, much bigger like headset, or there's apparently like some kind of spacer maybe that they could put under that headset, or the head tube, I mean, to keep the frame higher. Burkant Balky asks, would you ever want to do Rampage or Hardline? Probably not. I'm just not good enough, first of all, but I don't know, maybe if I was good enough, then maybe I would like to do it, but as of right now, since I'm not good enough for those, it's like, no, I don't even want to do those because they're too scary. Kevin the Turtle asks, what's your favorite GoPro and what's your personal favorite angle with that GoPro? Well, I mean, I like the best GoPro. That's my favorite GoPro, which would be the Hero 7. Although it's not that much better than the Hero 6, but whatever. Personal favorite angle, I mean, I love the chest mount, and I also love the helmet mount. The angles that I currently use, those are like my favorite ones, I guess. Chorus is the one thinks that I smoke weed. They ask, how much weed do you smoke? I don't smoke any weed. I don't know why you think that. It's actually legalized in Canada now, recently. But no, I've never smoked in my life, and I don't plan on it. It's just not how I roll. Jonathan Karskow asks, why did you buy a downhill bike instead of an enduro bike? Because I like downhill more. That's why. My Norco Truax was getting too small for me. I really wanted to just kind of let loose and just like send it. And my downhill bike is right there with me, so it's awesome. Riam May asks, what's the biggest secret to boosting a jump? Just being really good at bunny hops, basically. That's about it. Just really crouching down and then just like popping upwards, just really going for a big bunny hop. Actually, honestly, on flat ground, I can't even bunny hop that high. Like, I'm not that great at bunny hops, to be honest. I need the lips to really, I don't know, to really bunny hop more. I don't know how else to explain it though. Marcelo asks, why don't you ride more dirt jumps? That's a good question. It's just because I don't have a dirt jump bike. That's it. Because I love dirt jumps. Like, I really love dirt jumping. It's so much fun. But I need to get myself a dirt jump bike. That's what I need. Williams Biking asks, any plans on collaboration with IFHT? Yeah, actually, we did have some plans during Crankworks, but they fell through, unfortunately. I think I was going to be a part of their little video series where they do the Wheel of Nar, you know, and do like an interview and then go for a lap down Whistler. They're doing that with some other guys like Seth and Fabio Widmer and Blake Sampson. I was going to be part of that too, but then they ran out of time, which really sucks. But we are going to try and do something next year, I guess. We'll have to see what happens. All right, so some of you guys have just been asking like how long have I been riding for? About 15 years, I think now. I'm 29 now, and so I started when I was around 14, I believe. All right, last question here. Stain Upon My Preem asks, explain your passion for 26-inch wheels. Basically, they're just the best for jumping and freeride and that kind of stuff. So with the smaller diameter, there's just less momentum. That makes it easier for just flicking your bike around in the air, you know, doing whips or doing any kind of tricks. So dirt jump bikes are all still 26-inch wheels because that's better for jumping. You don't need anything bigger than that. And so it's kind of like, well, I love dirt jumping, I love jumping, and then just like put suspension onto that thing, put some knobbier tires on, and then take it into the mountains, and it's pretty sweet. I love that. I totally love it. You know, I can understand 27.5 wheels are not bad. Yeah, they work well, so, but yeah, no, 26-inch, there's something special about those. They're just even smaller. They're also like objectively stronger wheels, of course. There are pros and cons to all the wheel sizes, of course, but more agile, that kind of stuff. All right, so that's all the questions that I'm gonna answer for today. So thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out my Instagram for the giveaways that I'm doing. And I'm going to be announcing the winners on Instagram as well. I won't be announcing them on YouTube or anything. So go to my Instagram page, Jordan Boostmaster. Huge thanks to all of you guys for getting me this far, and huge thanks to my patrons as well for helping me get closer and closer to going full time. You guys are super awesome. And so I want to encourage you guys, if any of you are interested in seeing me go farther with my channel, consider checking out my Patreon page, and you get more video, you get extended cuts, you get early cuts, you get some bonus content. So there's some cool fun stuff over there for you guys. But otherwise, I got so much cool content coming up for you guys. Man, I kind of got behind this year. I got so much footage and still a little time to edit it all and release it. So I've got a lot of footage from the summer still coming out, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. So stay tuned, you guys. I got awesome stuff coming.